من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على من لا نبي بعده وبعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. All praise is due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May His peace and blessings be showered upon our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, the one who fought tooth and nail for Islam to get to every corner of the world. Our supplication always is, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bestow unto him his full blessings and mercy, and to whoever is to follow his footsteps until the day of judgment. Allahumma ameen. What I wanted us to discuss about today, as usual, we commence the session with an engaging question. Now, surprisingly, today I have two questions based on gender. So each gender is going to answer the question respectively. As a man, do you prefer a direct approach when you're approaching your potential wife, or you prefer an indirect approach? Have you understood the question? The direct approach or an indirect approach? It's just direct and indirect. Are you the bold person who understands the science of much to the lady, I love you so much, I can't live without you, I want to marry you? Or you're the someone who is going to actually just buy her supper, smile, help her with assignments without saying a word, but you actually need her for marriage? That is your question. The question to the sisters: how do you get to categorize statements from a serious man approaching you, whether directly or indirectly? How do you get to know that now this man wants me for marriage? Is he supposed to call you at night? Is he supposed to? What do you consider to categorize the approach they are using? Have you understood the question? Sisters, have you understood the question? Good. Let me start with the gents now. You give us the approach you prefer and why. No one is. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alhamdulillah. For me, I prefer both of them. I don't prefer one. The direct approach, I prefer it because I myself am bold. I don't have any fear. If I'm to use the direct approach, I don't have any fear. So that's why I prefer that one. And perhaps it depends on the lady also I'm approaching, of course.
Are you trying to insinuate that if someone is not bold enough and they are men, something is wrong with them?
Definitely, they can't really use that method, of course, they can't.
So every man is supposed to be bold?
No. Yeah, it depends on what they are also. They can decide to use the indirect approach depending on who they are and how they see it is valuable for them. But for me, I prefer, based on the lady I'm going to approach, if the method requires direct, I can use, and if it doesn't, then I use indirect method also.
What lady deserves the direct approach? What kind of lady?
There are situations where you don't interact with some ladies, just like here in IU, you might have an interest in a lady, but you getting into contact to that lady is really very hard. So if there is possibility of you having that chance, you can't really say that you want to play. Then how long will you be in position to approach it? It becomes very hard. So under such a circumstance, if that chance comes, you can use it appropriately to let her know your interest on her. Then perhaps it might bring her close to you and you begin other things. That's what I can say.
Okay.
Thank you.
I don't know why, or I've understood you. I'm not sure whether I've understood you. But let me...
Okay, you can make some clarification.
Okay, one last question. Choose one of the two. Direct approach or indirect approach?
I choose indirect.
Direct.
Indirect.
Indirect.
Yes.
What is your understanding of the indirect one? Shying around, sending someone, or smiling just?
No.
Okay.
Indirect one can be in different forms. There are those who prefer giving gifts. You give some gifts, maybe
Gifts?
prior to her knowing that you have interest on her. You can give them as you keep on socializing with her, slowly, then
Okay.
perhaps you can.
Barakallahu fikum. Barakallah. I want, maybe let's start with the other brother. Right? Yeah. Yes. My question is just very clear. Direct approach or indirect approach? Yes, brother.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
For me, I prefer the direct approach.
Direct approach, you march to the lady and you tell her, I want to marry you.
Yes.
Why?
Because for me, I see it as the best way of expressing my feelings to her. Than the indirect one, because you may send someone and you can reach there and talk something that is not real or that you are wanting. Yeah. So for me, I prefer the direct one.
So maybe you might send someone and they misrepresent you.
Yes. They can misrepresent me, and I can miss that what? Chance.
So
I
you
prefer
go direct.
direct.
Okay. So do you believe that if a man fails to take the direct approach, something is wrong with them?
Yeah. Because if you fail to tell a lady directly, which means that you are not a man. You are not a man. Eh?
Every man must be bold to go and I love you.
Yes.
Either they reject you or they accept you.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Barakallahu fikum. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
My name is Mima Muhammad,
Yes.
and I prefer a direct approach because of just 3 reasons.
Do you want to tell me that all of you are for direct approaches, no one is indirect? Yes.
Just because of the 3 reasons, Mahmoud will take a direct approach because one time my brother missed to marry a good catch for himself just because of being indirect. He didn't say out that he wanted the girl, and by the time he said it, the girl told him, you delayed, and the direct person told me, and actually I've gone. That's the first one. The second one is things of in the indirect approaches. In most cases, both of us, me, a man, and you, the female, we all know as you are being indirect, you are beating around the bush. The girl you are talking to also knows that this man is meaning something. As you buy your gifts, as you say all that you want to say, herself also knows what you are doing, and yourself you also know what you are doing. And the time will come, you open up for yourself, you disclose. Why are you wasting time instead of disclosing? Then the third one is that sometimes you may beat around the bush, and maybe your partner understands you wrongly, like they fail to understand you, and maybe you are sending another person to represent you, and when you send them, and Sheikh,
they use the chance.
For us the males, when you are sending the female, actually you give some money to persuade the girl. So you may give out that money, the man reaches there and will talk for himself, and he will use your money. So that's why Mahmoud takes a direct approach. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam. Yes, sister.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Okay, my opinion about this is I would prefer someone who is intentional, and therefore if it is someone ngasibi amuzanyo, let it be a direct approach. Reason being, if someone is direct with what they want, they come and open up their mind, then it is up to me to make a decision. But if someone comes around and he's saying, Khairat, you know this, it's a red flag to me. Maybe
Tamanyi
chayagala. And to me, I think it's better you open up your mind to someone, and it's up to them to open up, to let them know maybe whether you have a position in their life or maybe no.
Yeah.
Like, it's not always good when you waste time. Because actually, you could be there and you don't tell me directly what your mind is. And maybe I would assume you're just a brother, like a friend. You get? Of which even Islamically, it's not prohibited. It is prohibited to get so close to a gent if, like, why are you even keeping him is in the first place? So I think the direct approach works, and it's up to me to decide.
Okay. Would you consider it a direct approach if at all he first contacts your dad before you?
When he contacts my mzee, then that guy is intentional. It's a direct approach because my dad is someone who is responsible to me. And therefore, I would credit him.
Okay.
I'll really credit him for that. Because, Shay, in our modern world, if a guy is competent enough to come to your parents and they be like, Mzee, I've liked Khairat, your daughter, I credit him.
It is a plus.
It's a plus to me, actually. I would credit him.
Okay. MashaAllah. Barakallahu fikum.
Fikum barakallah.
Barakallahu fikum. But I want some indirect people. All of you are direct. Where are the indirect people? Yes, sister. Actually, Engineer Rajab, I'm going to request, as soon as we are done with the gents, we get one indirect person here. You represent the indirect ones, and an indirect one here too. Yes.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Though I'm not indirect person.
You're direct one.
Shay, what if I'm a kind of a person who sees good in every person? How will I get to know that this person wants something from me? Probably whatever that you're doing, I'm seeing it as a good thing. Like, you're nice to me, I'd be like, yeah, people are nice. Probably I've never been treated badly. And when you treat me nice, I'd be like, oh, wow, he's such a good guy. But if at all you come to me, you'll be like, you know what, Naima, this and this and this. That will tell me to be like, I'll give him a chance, or it's a no on my side.
With this and this and this, you mean I want to marry you, you're the love of my life?
Yes. I would like him to be bold enough and then come to me and be like, Naima, I would like to make you my wife, or I would,
Okay.
I wouldn't like someone who would be like, hi, I'm like non-direct. What do you mean? What if you are like the list is long and probably you are the potential husband,
and
but
you're shying
away. Okay, assalamu alaikum.
Okay, wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. One last.
Wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Sheikh, in fact, I prefer a person who is direct. That one who is so bold that he can approach me directly through my parents, as you said.
Not
because I am part of my parents. I am because of my parents. So when he first goes to them, I will really know that he really intends to love me. But these ones who are indirect, you send a friend to me, really? Are you serious? Like, you can send like as I know, indirect speech is never direct. You may like send him to come and tell me that you love me. yes, he comes and tells me, my friend loves you. Then maybe I say, I also do love him. Then he comes back to you and says, she said she doesn't love you. Maybe when he also has some feelings for me. As they always say, is it procrastination is the thief of time? I think it's like that. So now for you be there pretending, delaying to make decision. And also I heard that even religion allows men to tell lies. Is it true that mostly when they are dating us, now maybe when a person washes vehicles, he will keep on changing vehicles and say, you see, we sell vehicles, what and what. So I want that person who comes directly, either to me or through my parents. And you have to look direct into my eyes. But if you keep facing down, now when you behave like a lady, how will I behave? And how will I have that potential that maybe you will take care of me? You have begun showing your shyness before you even get me. Now what if you get me? Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Indirect one too. Indirect one, right? Yeah. He was the first one.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I will take this opportunity first of all to thank you, Sheikh, for helping us. We have learned more. I pray that may Allah grant you paradise.
Ameen, ya Rabbi.
These things of approaching, it is not after being shy or what. But for me, I prefer indirect, Sheikh. Why? Sheikh, approaching a person you feel you love. Imagine just looking at her. Imagine that, just looking at her. You feel you're burning inside there, you see?
You lose control.
Yeah, you lose control. So, you first create that environment. Imagine you love that woman.
You love her so much to a level that you don't even have words.
Yeah, you reach on her like this. You feel you don't have words. So, and some women, you might love a woman who is quiet. His things are different. That you should look the way of handling her, not just approaching to her that no, ya assalamu alaikum, I love you. They will chase you. So you get time, you learn her, then you get a way of approaching. Yeah, sure. Okay. That's why I prefer that.
Barakallahu feekum.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
The last is that least.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
First of all, Sheikh, you asked us a question before.
Yes.
The original question for the ladies, how you know that that's the right man for you, what words and all that. I would like to answer that as well. So for me, I would prefer the indirect method.
Indirect one?
Yes. Why? Personally, I'm afraid of embarrassment. And I'm afraid to embarrass another person. And most times, a man will gather his strength and approach you and gather his courage for a while, only to come to you and then you tell him, you're not my type, or you're broke, or you're this. I would prefer an indirect method. Why? Because I can reject you silently.
With respect.
Yes. And girls, let's not lie about this. When a man wants you as a girl, you know it. Don't lie. We all know it. When a man wants you, you know. You just know it. When he wants you, you know it. So why wait for that time? Reject him calmly. Then, for what? I have brothers. I wouldn't want that to be done to my brothers. Then the second one.
Yes. Yes.
Then, to answer the original question, how I know that this man is meant for me. Let's be honest, as gents, when your intention about a woman, when you like a girl honestly, you wouldn't want to see her going astray in any way. And you will always take time to advise her. Omusajja akwagala akubulirira. If a man doesn't advise you, tena kyakwagaza. Agenda kuli akusulewo. Kumala budde. A woman you love, you'll take time to advise because you want her to be the best she can be.
Okay.
That's me.
MashaAllah. Barakallah. Wahlul uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. I would like to prepare my audience today with the following. One, I think it's evident that we have it as a challenge today. Reality is really in a way that there is no way you're going to make it a principle that it only works by the direct approach, or maybe it only works by the indirect approach. Now it calls for a reality of you focusing on to what you are, your personality, and to whoever you're going to deal with. I would like to put to your attention that when we are addressing such topics, we are ruling out unserious creatures. We are not talking about basically expressing how you feel about someone. This issue of seeing a girl today and then the following text in the morning, you can't live without them, but you've already lived without her. Now it's not basically an expression of how you feel about someone. It's an expression of how you want to commit to someone. That's a very big distinction. Now that means we are ruling out people who are still finding home into just realizing how they feel about others for a reality. Now I want to prepare my audience today to appreciate that it's very okay to understand that when we are talking about starting a family and looking up to marriage, the expression is actually different, and how you actually approach it is also different. Secondly, please don't get lost with the unrespected experience from the previous unserious relationships. Who told every man that being bold is only a man thing? How did you learn being bold? Do you remember the first relationship you had? That's the real you as a man, if you want to marry someone. Now you're getting your experience with 10 girls, you never married any of them, and you want to make it a man thing. That's not real. The same applies with the sisters. Don't lose out good potential husbands just because they can't throw to your face that I love you in public when everyone is listening. You have to exceed that level. It is your story and not a story for the society. And thirdly, please, it is very different if you're expressing how you feel about someone and actually showing your interest to marry them. There are two different realities. If you want to tell a lady how you feel or maybe how you love them, that's very easy. Everyone has feelings. Committing to her is something that needs some extra guts. And that's why we are here to discuss different approaches when it comes to our realities. Now I would like to put to your attention, I want to put this for a foundation, the tradition narrated to us authentically by Abu Hatim, where the Prophet was like, إِذَا آتَاكُمْ أو إِذَا جَاءَكُمْ فِي الرِّوَايَةِ مَنْ تَرْضَوْنَ دِينَهُ وَخُلُقَهُ فَزَوِّجُوهُ. The Prophet was basically addressing your fathers, giving them advice, and he was like, if at all they match to you, your guardians, and you're pleased with their conduct and their religion, then it's okay. فَأَنْكِحُوهُ. Give your daughters out to them. Now in that tradition we learn something. It's very okay to appreciate different approaches so long as it is objected to actually starting up a family. And it calls for the two categories of approach. In as far as Islam is concerned, it doesn't hold on to you a particular approach in that respect, but it leaves that to you and to whoever you're dealing with. The first approach is the direct approach. The direct approach basically means you are going to deliberately approach the lady and actually inform them how you intend to marry them, not how you love them. How many gents have actually expressed how they love you, and how many are actually ready to marry you off? Now, the direct approach, as far as Islam is concerned, that is what we respect for an approach. Not expressing how you feel about someone, but your intention to marry them. And I'm giving this for a background. Islam even has it that it can actually be a direct one if you're marching straight to her today in the contemporary understanding. To put the traditions into the context, the Ugandan context, you can march to her because her parent is not here. That is also a valid one, so long as you keep the Islamic principles in play. Or maybe actually visiting her home. Now, chances are high, even when you visit her home, maybe the parent is going to refer you back to her daughter because of her exposure levels, because of her preferences, and maybe the dad doesn't know those details. That's where you're going to find a reality where the father is going to ask you, like, have you already interacted with the girl? And if the answer is yes, then you're good to go. If the answer is no, definitely he will tell you it's okay, I have no issue, first talk to her. So I want to put a foundation of the direct approach to the story that happened, just like Qatada narrates to us, how Bilal bin Rabah, a companion, got in position to directly approach the family of the lady he wanted to marry. And maybe we squeeze out some lessons before we address the indirect approach. Bilal bin Rabah was a companion. We all know he was a black companion and actually most loved by Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We also know that he actually got good news of entering paradise when he was still alive. Now he had accolades. When he marched to the family of the lady he was interested into, these were the statements. Bilal was like, Ana Bilalun, wa hadha akhi. They went to with a brother. Translating to, I am Bilal, and this is my brother I've come with to your family. Abedani min al-Habasha. We are the two slaves from the Ethiopia land. Habasha, Abyssinia then. Kunna dallina fahadana Allah. We want to inform you, the family of the lady we are interested in, we were lost creatures. We had no guidance, but Allah provided us with some guidance. It's basically giving a platform to a family you want to marry from to know you. وَكُنَّا عَبِدَيْنِ فَأَعْتَقَنَا اللَّهِ. We were slaved, like literal slaved. But with the grace of Allah, Allah actually shaped us and granted us freedom. We are no longer slaves right now. Now that is Bilal trying to give a real talk from the direct approach to the family he's interested in to marrying from. And then he went down saying the following, In tunkihuna falhamdulillah. If you may please, and you grant us a chance to be your sons-in-law, grant us your daughter, praise is going to be to Allah. We are fine with that. That's why we are here. وَإِن تَمْنَعُونَ فَاللَّهُ أَكْبَرُ. But if at all you don't see us compatible for your daughter, no worries. Allah is the most great. We are going to understand. Now, only that tradition, narration, we have some lessons we learn from as someone who is actually going to consider taking the direct approach, just like we've said. You don't know how to directly approach a lady. You don't. I'm not talking about confronting her and you're like, I love you. That is easy. You are experienced to telling that to people. It goes beyond that. The first lesson we learn from here is respect. You need to respect whoever you're going to approach, for starters. Now that means we are ruling out someone who is actually testing a girl just because they have told you that she's rigid. You have to be intentional. You match to her, or maybe to her family, and try to be a responsible man to give out your cards on the table. Bilal teaches us from his statements for us all to understand that you don't need to front your accolades. Humility has to actually front you as you're taking the direct approach. Are you sure Bilal forgot that he was amongst people who are going to enter paradise? Do you think Bilal forgot that he is actually a close friend to the Prophet? Do you think he forgot all the accolades? Definitely no. It is the same thing you need. You are a failure if all you're fronting for someone to allow you is money. That basically means you have nothing out of your character that is worth giving attention. You need to borrow from materials. It is actually something you need to understand. You don't have to front the accolades to someone you're going to call wife. Take your character, just like Bilal did. Let the family of the girl you're going to marry from, let the girl that you're going to propose to directly know you for your character, just like Bilal did. Secondly, you don't raise the expectation by the direct approach. I can't imagine in Bayigiriza Kwana. When you're talking, addressing the family you're going to marry from, or maybe whoever you're going to call a wife, you don't raise their expectations. Not really. When you raise the expectations in the underperforming world, you're creating problems for yourself. Does Uganda look for you as a well-performing world? Everything is going to stay static like it is tomorrow? The least you're supposed to put into her is to raise her expectations, yet you're not going to maintain. Now that is a discipline you really have to learn from that. Whatever you're doing as you're approaching her, make sure you have consistency with it. Matter of fact, you're not a phone person. You are training this girl of yours to call her in the morning whether she has woken up. You are waking her up for Fajr. Even break time, have you eaten break? Even lunch time, do you have something to eat? Are you breathing in the evening? Even at night, you check on them. The rain is raining. Where are you, baby? In one day, 30 calls, which is okay. Are you going to maintain the 30 calls? Do you really think her level of maturity is going to understand that as soon as everything is done, the 30 calls is not going to be something? Because that is not the drama for husband and wife. Maybe in a day you only need a call. Is it a reality or not? Now you really think married people don't love each other just because they don't call 30 times a day? That is your drama when you're still trying to find love. Why would a husband call you when you're at home? To check whether you're fine. He has left you at home, definitely it's only one phone call. When you call more than thrice a wife who is seated at home, there is a problem. I'm not talking to people in the honeymoon. I'm talking to people who are 5 years in marriage, for starters. That's where you're heading. Isn't it a reality? You don't raise expectations, something you're not going to. You get to a level of even deceiving the family you're marrying from. You don't need to do that. Keep it slow. Because you're going to relate with her as a husband, not as a lecturer. As a husband, not as the imam. As a husband, not as a manager. Now, as soon as they understand your character, now you have something to talk about. Thirdly, keep it simple and moderate. Because definitely, if you don't raise the expectations, just keep it simple. Because by the time Bilal went too, he had every reason to give out the accolades. Men who are serious don't talk about themselves. Legacy talks about themselves. You don't need to say a lot. What you've done is going to speak for itself. Present yourself. Simple. Be prepared for the end result. It is not supposed to be positive always. You're not too special, Gemazima. Maybe there is no girl that has rejected you because whoever you were trying to approach is like that. When you meet a serious one, it might be a positive one or maybe a negative one. Now that is a psychological approach when it comes to rejection, and it's a very sensitive issue. You've been talking about it here and you are taking it as something simple. Your man here, husband to be, all he needs is to be rejected thrice, and it's going to affect him psychologically. You're losing out a potential husband in future because you've been rejected thrice. Now you will end up falling into a battle of just trying to go through the rejection without no reason, mind you. Because at least the rejection becomes good when you at least know a reason. That the first one rejected you because of the color. Now you know maybe that is okay. The second one rejected you because you misrepresentation. Now you know where to start from. The third one rejected you because of maybe something. All of them, no one told you the reason. So you're looking for a problem with you, not knowing maybe it's not your problem, it is their problem. So Islam from that actually trains you. When Bilal is like, if you grant us the daughter, it's very okay. If you don't grant us, it's very okay. When you're approaching someone, or maybe the family, please expect they might reject you, just like they might allow you for. Your proposal can either be accepted or turned down. So you remember that as you're trying to tolerate. Don't even start a war unnecessarily. Yeah. If you're serious, match to her. Put your card on the table. If at all they reject you, match her with respect. Yes. And that means, as you're rejecting him also, be respectful. Yeah. You're basically abusing a father of someone tomorrow. Someone's husband tomorrow. If you're not fit for him, keep it with respect. Just tell them it's not a story we are going to start. Simple. Yeah. You don't need to pamper him and so on. Just keep it simple. Direct. It has failed. It's okay. And learn to accept. It's very okay. If they reject you today, don't overcry. Wake up tomorrow. Okay, just cry for a day and start the following day. Look for another one. You need to be a father tomorrow. Like that. You might have known someone, or maybe each other for some time, but you are never sure until you are sure. Just because you've been together since year 1, year 2, year 3, it's not a guarantee that a story must happen. You can only be sure if you're sure, until you're sure. So that is the Islamic guidance when it comes to the direct approach. It's very okay, but at least keep it with some respect. Because if you're interested into it has to be a serious, mature talk. I want you to be my wife. I don't want you to be my husband. Everyone matches and they go. Simple. Oh, I want you to be my wife. Let me think about it. It is okay. Let us start a family. Together we can. The family has started. Hey, you don't have time to waste. Now Islam introduces our minds to actually an indirect approach because we are not all the same. And sisters, please understand, not every man is bold. Yeah, not every man is bold. Maybe you've just gotten experience from bold guys that march to you straight. They talk stuff. Some good people are here, but they are just shy. Just like the brother said. Islam comes to actually respect that reality. It is a valid reality. When it comes to the indirect approach, we have our own indirect approaches based on to the culture and traditional stories. What do Baganda do? The Bagandas, for a case study, if a guy is interested into you, he doesn't march to the father straight. Where does he go? He goes to the auntie. Because from the tradition of the Bagandas, maybe and some other Bantu, they believe such a sensitive discussion that has something to do with intimacy, because of the humility and modesty levels of a girl and the dad, it's not something that can be easily shared between the two. So you have to go to the auntie, and then the auntie has to prepare a right wording because you're still a young man. And then she goes to the brother, and then the brother, this man, like that. Now, so long as the Islamic principles are kept, Islam doesn't come to rule out all that. That is a valid approach because the Prophet was like, بُعِثْتُ لِأُتَمِّمَ مَكَارِمَ الْأَخْلَاقِ. I was sent to just fulfill onto the good morals you guys have been keeping. Now, so long as there is nothing that is being provoked from the Islamic principles, it's a tick. Follow it. It's an indirect one, but also it was put in place just because they want to check the intention of you and so on. It can also be done through a reliable third party. Yeah, the indirect approach. Maybe you're here, you love a girl here. You know very well she's my student. Actually, you're both my students. She's also here, but she's seeing you here. You both come. And then you say, Shay, your student, I like her. And she also says, I don't know why, but even your student, I like it. I sit, I have a meeting, I prepare a meeting with both of you. I talk with you as a man, I talk with her as a woman. After a month, a year, marriage starts. What's the problem with that? Nothing. Some good couples are just there seated because you lack the initiation. So Islam comes to prepare as you. It is okay. You seek help from a reliable third party to help you, if at all you're such kind of a person. This is how good the religion is. It doesn't mean you're less a man. No. It basically means maybe because of what you believe in and some men fear rejection. And that is a psychological thing. It is a real one. Okuzo inekitiibwa kyo only to find a 23-year-old girl akuwemule rejecting you. Now that means a lot. So Islam opens that door. Through a reliable third party, it can also be something, because some gents are actually shy. Not because they can't be husbands, but because they fear how it would end. And it is even possible for you, some of you are even couples, but you don't know yet. Tell me one reason. Why would your bestie, who is a girl, call you at 1 a.m. when it is raining to just ask you whether you've covered your body? Tell me one reason why your bestie, who is a boy here, 1 a.m. everyone is supposed to be sleeping, to just call you and ask you. I don't know why, but for some reason something has told me you're looking also. I decided to call you. You waste time 1 month, 1 year. Are you waiting for an angel to tell you that you might be a potential couple? You're just 2 unserious adults. You start. That is when you realize that even when you just start relating with another girl, you start being close with another girl, your bestie becomes annoyed. And then you even ask her, why are you annoyed? These days I don't understand you. She even tells you. Meaning, do you actually prioritize me? Start marriages. But reliable third party is also a way. Let us end with the story of Ali, because Ali was also a shy person. Ali is a companion that married the daughter of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam with a very beautiful love story. Prophet loved Fatima so much. So much. She was too dearest to him. It actually got to a point where Prophet nicknamed his daughter Ummu Abiha, the mother of her father. Because when the mother of Fatima died, Khadija bint Khuwailid, Fatima, as a daughter of 7 years, took good care of the dad to comfort him and just find peace with her. That's why Prophet loved Fatima so much. Now, when Fatima grew up, attained the age of puberty, she was a very beautiful girl. Abu Bakr went to the Prophet to seek Fatima's hand in marriage. Prophet was like, Abu Bakr, I don't see you guys being together. Not because he never wanted, but he knew the daughter. He knew that Abu Bakr wasn't a preference to Fatima. After Abu Bakr, Umar came in. He was like, Ya Rasulullah, I want to marry your daughter. Who wouldn't like to be a son-in-law of the Prophet? Prophet, because they were friends. Prophet was like, Umar, matter of fact, I don't see my daughter falling for you. You're not her preference. And he was sure because the Prophet knew the daughter. Now, one day, Ali ibn Abi Talib was basically seated somewhere with some of the companions. And there came a young girl, lady, and she tried to provoke Ali. She was like, Ali, everyone is trying to marry Fatima, but Fatima isn't interested. Why don't you try your luck? Now, every man from the companions, they were like, by the way, did you try? Ali was like, come on. Abu Bakr failed, Umar failed. Who am I? I'm even poor. I don't have even money. What do I do? You leave me alone. As a man, he was charged emotionally. Everyone was like, Ali, you can. You're a young man. Prophet loves you. Even Fatima, it's the same age. You will manage. The narration states that Ali marched after being charged. He marched to the Prophet and he knocked the door, the kind of knocking that insinuates that I have a burning issue I want to tell you. When the Prophet opened the door, Ali went mute. Mute means I have nothing to say. Prophet asked Ali, what is the problem? The way you've knocked this door indicated something. What did you want to tell me? Ali went mute without saying a word. Out of the emotional intelligence of the Prophet, because Prophet knew Fatima and he knew Ali, of course, because they used to live together, so he knew them both. Prophet said the following statement, Ali, you look like you want to request my daughter's hand in marriage. Immediately Ali was like, exactly, that's why I'm here. When that happened, Prophet marched to Fatima to inform her, because Prophet knew that definitely this is a preference to Fatima. He went to Fatima, the daughter, and he subjected Ali. Fatima was like, it's very okay, with a sign, definitely. And it's a beautiful couple that happened, and they even got kids. That was an indirect approach with the help of the dad of the daughter. Imagine if the Prophet didn't say that. Maybe it wouldn't even be a couple. Now, some good men are here, just like some good women are here. You're just unserious. You learn from what is happening. If you know that you're the someone who is of the indirect approach, do something to at least let her know that you care about her. And if you sense, a sister said here, I'm not a lady. The sister said here that you know when someone is in love with you. Now, if you sense like that and you're still waiting, I want him to say it. It is okay. He can say it, he might not say it. If he says it, well and good. But we've also seen marriages that happen, just like we shall talk about it in another session, a lady's proposal. Some men are shy to a level that you actually behave in a way of being interested into a lady, and it's the same lady that is going to give you a hint to start the journey together. And as soon as she does, the family happens, and you start being actually an effective husband. Because the road that takes you to marriage doesn't actually dictate how you're going to behave after marriage. As we are winding up, please take the two issues. One, as you're trying to approach this lady, please understand, the way you approach, the way you receive the response from an experienced relationship advisor with experience is not the same way you receive the response from a modesty high lady, a shy one. Aisha narrates to us that the Prophet was like, al-bikru tusta'dhan. When a lady is still young, innocent, she's not experienced, not vulgar-minded, she's requested for permission to start a relationship with her, whether to marry her or not. That's pretty obvious. And then Aisha was like, innal bikr, such a lady tastahi. They are, in most cases, very shy. They can't even say a word in that respect. And then Prophet said, idhnuha sumatuha. When such a lady, maybe such a girl, is silent, it can be a sign that she's okay with you. So don't always expect, I love you to this lady, and then you expect this lady to be, I love you too. I don't know why, but for some reason, I love you. Like, I'm giving you a tip, younger girl. Don't be like that. At least pretend like you're shy. You're not shy, but just pretend. This is now a principle. It is helping you. It is also possible you say to a lady that you want to marry them, but they are not going to be too bold like you are. But then it's not a principle we take and we are like, every silence, We read from some other factors. There is a silence with a smile. What does that mean? It is okay. There is even silence with tears, but it is actually sensitive, because even the smile can be a smile of manipulation. Smiling, wondering, how can you match to me? So you actually have to be having that emotional intelligence to understand, yes, with silence it is okay, but is it actually a positive response? Or so you need to understand that. Lastly, we have a lot of confusion, and it's actually creating you guys to stay being single. For example, when you go to this lady, directly or indirectly, whatever drama, you tell her, I want to marry you. This lady is trained to delay a bit. Because when she says immediately that it is okay, let's start marriage, you're going to actually wonder, what is the problem with this girl? She's not even being, what is the problem? Not even delaying. Now in the long run, she doesn't know what time to take as she's delaying. She's actually confused what to do as she's delaying. Not knowing there are some men that are too intentional. I want to marry you. You're just smiling and you go away. 1 month down the road, there is no sign. They're like, okay, I'm not interested. Let me go somewhere else. You cry. This man is not serious. Just 1 month and you leave me. Maybe he never even wanted to marry me. That is how confused we are. But it shouldn't be confusion. You're getting drama from the girlfriend and boyfriend relationship. You're bringing it to wife and husband stories. Someone who is ready for marriage, there is no drama there. You've seen someone who is a potential wife. You reach out to them. You're like, I want to make you a wife. If it's okay, if you're okay with it. She thinks about it, and as soon as she brings the reply, you're like, okay, let's try, or maybe I'm off, I'm not around. Maybe I'm taken, and so on. As a serious someone who is looking for, just prior to this session, you don't even know who is an ex in Islam. You're still struggling with situationships, and you're claiming people are your exes. Ex in the Islamic perspective is off that drama. You marry someone and then you divorce, or maybe you take yourself off him. You're still in those dramas. Everyone is now an ex. Because you're trying to find a story and it's failing. We don't pin you because it has failed. You've just realized it's not going to work out. Make your CVs clean. You're not an ex of anyone, or kujia konga they married you or you got married to them. All you're dealing with is just beyond an experience that is rude. That is your own personal battle. You go through it and then you start a new journey. May Allah grant you good stories with any approach you're going to use. Because when we are trying to talk about the Islamic dating, it is principled. You don't waste someone's time. It has to be deliberate. We ruled out people who basically talk to each other just to meet their emotional desires. It has to be deliberate. You don't say you love a lady unless you have an intention of marrying them, as you're saying that. You don't say I love you back unless you're like, it's okay, we can start a family together. And then you work upon that, just getting to know each other along the way. And as soon as you find reasons to be a couple, find a date, give her the mahar, start a family, you become parents, you die, you enter paradise. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us that understanding. Allahumma ameen. Lastly, before I forget, there is a WhatsApp group, I'm told, that is being created for specifically this halaqah, and the moderator is going to read out the number, specifically members of the university, inshallah. So as soon as you get the number, you send him a message so that you're being put in that group, inshallah. But I want to thank you for loving marriage. This is a good sign. I've actually started to see some people who are now serious. They have started practicals already. May Allah grant you goodness. May Allah grant you the best out of it. Allahumma ameen. Yes, that is what I want. You learn theory, you start practicals. By the time we end the series, your fathers and mothers and maybe grandy. Barakallahu fikum. This is the